Hello and welcome to my latest video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Instagram and Facebook stories and what that actually is for you as a marketer. So I help simplify tech so that you can attract your ideal audience and really get to grips with increasing your visibility. And one of the things that I know overwhelm you so much is the fact that there's so much on social. I mean, there is so much to learn and there is so much to do, and it's very difficult to know what to actually go for. So in this video, we're going to be looking at basically Instagram and Facebook stories, but an overview of what it actually is and what they actually do. So my name's Anita Wong, and if you've never seen me on here before, welcome. If you would like to let me know where you're streaming in from, please do let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions about stories or how to use them, then please don't hesitate to pop those in the comments as well, because I'll try and answer them at the end of the video. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to just tell you a little bit about Facebook and Instagram stories. So the best way for me to do that is to share my screen with you so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So Facebook and Instagram stories are two different platforms. So you have your Instagram account and you have your Facebook account. They are two different, completely different platforms, but the stories themselves work the same. So a story is an update that you can post into your Facebook account or your Instagram account, which lasts for 15 seconds, and it sits at the top of the feed in a very prominent position. It is public, and there are three types of stories that you can use across your Facebook and Instagram. But we're going to look at Facebook first. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you basically what I'm talking about when it comes to your stories. So as you can see at the top of my screen here, let me just check that I'm actually connected. Yep, I am. As you can see at the top here, you can see that it says here your story. So that's basically where the stories sit, and the rest of the feed and everything else comes below that. Now, what that means is that your stories on Facebook have a very prominent position and can be seen by everybody when they go to their news feed. I'm just going to double check that because my phone is not moving with the rest of the thing. So I'm just going to quickly just reconnect it a second. A minute. Okay, let's just get that up because it's a bit of pain, but it's not working now. It's because I've had it on for a while. Okay, I'm going to stop that share a second. And okay, so just bear with me, having a bit of a techie issue with my screen sharing, which is a bit annoying, but we will get there in a second. Just wait 1 second. We'll get that back up. Okay, so whilst we're just doing that, I'm going to just quickly tell you. So why would you want to use Facebook and Instagram stories across your marketing? Well, for a start, they really allow you to have a little bit more flexibility with what you do. So when I say that, what I mean is the fact that because they only stay on your feed for 24 hours, it means that they disappear after 24 hours. So you have a lot of flexibility with how you want them, how you want to use them. So you can do behind the scenes accounts. You could do what you're creating, perhaps. You could do a day in the life of. You could do a promotional story. You could do all sorts of things. And they don't sit in your timeline like your normal posts do. They actually just sit at the top. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So I'm just going to get that up now. Okay, so we should be back on now. So let me just go back to StreamYard and reconnect you with my screen so you can see what's happening. Okay, so here we go. So now we're back on track. So with Facebook stories, what happens is that when you create a Facebook story, it sits at the top here. And as you can see, I'm scrolling through here. And in this area is where you find all of your stories. So if I click that, you'll see that I have a story there. Now, that particular story is from my personal profile. but you can actually have stories from your actual business profile. So if I were to go to scroll along here and just look for another account, you can see that the business pages and the personal pages on Facebook are mixed together. So you're going to be able to get a lot of exposure with your stories on Facebook. Now, to find your stories on your page, that is, you have to go to your page, and then you have to go to where the little circle is. So you see your profile picture. To view your own story, you click on there and you can view your story, and you can see all the stories that you've posted from your business page. Now, when you post stories from your business page, it's a really good way of expanding your posts across the whole network and the whole wide world, because you will get other people seeing all of your stories, which is really, really good. So as you can see, I've got lots of stories going on my actual business page about what I was up to yesterday. And then I've actually started another story for today talking about this particular live that I'm doing at the moment. Now, when you go back to the home feed, all of the stories will be there. And one of the really good things about Facebook stories is that you can cross post between your Facebook business page and your personal stories. So you get double the amount of exposure. Now, that's with Facebook stories. So many of you may not have even known that we had a Facebook business page story. You probably just always gets pushed to your profile story. But there is another type of story over on Instagram. So if we go over to Instagram, as you can see, I'm on my home button at the bottom left. And at the very top, there's all these round circles. Now, those round circles actually represent your stories. So if I click on mine, you can see that my stories have been going on for the last 24 hours. And after 24 hours, they disappear. So the first story that I put on yesterday morning is 22 hours old. But in 2 or 3 hours' time, that story will disappear from my feed, and I'll be able to put new ones up. Now, there's no limit to the amount of stories that you put up on your Instagram or your Facebook stories. The only limit is that it's within a 24-hour period. So when you put a story up, it lasts just for 24 hours. So you can have so much more flexibility, and you can do so much more inside of stories. So that's just a general overview of where you can find your stories. And what I want to do now is I actually want to talk to you about why you would use your stories. Why would you use stories inside your marketing, especially as an entrepreneur building up their visibility? Well, there's lots of really, really good ways of using stories to build your business. Now, I personally use my stories a lot, and I've gained email subscribers from my stories. I've also sold courses through my stories. I've had webinar signups through my stories. I've had all sorts of different things that I've gained through my stories using my business page stories on my Facebook account and also on my Instagram account. So there's a breadth of different ways you can gain visibility. Now, actually, inside the stories themselves, you can also gain a lot of information about your viewers. You can run polls. You can ask questions. You can actually sell products. You can mention other people. So there's lots and lots of different reasons that you could be using stories. Now, I know that stories involve a level of understanding and a level of tech to get you to use stories properly. And I know that can be really overwhelming, especially for the women that I help. A lot of the women that I help have said to me that they avoid stories because they don't understand what they are. They don't know how to use them. They don't know what content to put into their stories. They're confused about how long they stay up there, who's going to see them, and all those sorts of reasons why you shouldn't be using stories. So I wanted to come on and just give you a little update on how you can use stories to benefit your business and to gain a better visibility. So I'm going to share my actual Facebook business page with you, and I'm going to show you the stories on there as well, because I want you to see how easy it is and how much exposure one would get using stories on your business page. So as you can see, I'm on my Facebook business account, and I've just gone to my home page, and the stories have such a prominent position. You see, they're up here already at the top before even any of the other news feeds come in. And there is a mixture between personal stories and business stories. So you can actually monitor them. And here you can have this see all button. And when you click that on your desktop, you can actually see all the stories and you can select which one you want to open to see. So let's have a little look at this one. So they've done 6 news stories. So Donna's actually a friend of mine and she's done some stories on her business page. This is actually her business page here. So when you click on this, it will actually take you to her business page. So that gives your business page such a lot of exposure, because I got to her business page from my home feed without actually having to search for her business page. I just went through my stories down here. Now, one of the real benefits of using stories in your marketing strategy is just that you have such a lot of exposure for anything that you're talking about. And it goes the same with Instagram as well. So if I go over to my Instagram account on here, and I'll show you my Instagram page on the desktop, and I'll show you how you can see the stories on there as well. And if you haven't started to use stories, I'd really, really recommend that you give it a go. Now, I have got a new Facebook group called Instagram and Facebook Stories, and I will be running a few challenges in there. So if you want to jump into there, I'll pop the link in the comments below. And also I do have a planner, because sometimes planning is one of the biggest things that stumble business owners, because they're not sure what they want to plan. So here's my stories on my Instagram account. So I know most of us think that Instagram is a mobile only application, but they are moving more and more of the Instagram tools online onto the actual desktop or your laptop. And inside of your Instagram account, you can see so much more. So here are all the stories that everyone has posted inside their Instagram account. And as you can see, it's very prominent at the top of the newsfeed. So you have to scroll down to see the newsfeed. And it takes such a lot of room up. There's such big posts. But up here, you have these amazing stories from such a lot of amazing people. People that you follow, but also people that you don't follow, because your stories are open to the general public. So, for instance, if I were to click on Mel Robbins, I just saw her just now. Let me just find her here. I follow Mel, but her stories are always at the top, so I can see what she's up to. And she usually does a catalogue of the day, and she really takes you on a journey with her. And then she always does a live, and her lives also sit in her stories when she does her lives as well. And you can also search for your stories in the hashtag. So if you use a hashtag, so maybe I might put if I put Instagram stories up here. I can't spell, hang on. You see the actual hashtag itself has a searchable. And if you put that hashtag in your story, you get this whirly bit up here. And when I click that whirly bit, you get all the stories that anyone has put the IG stories hashtag in, as well as the feed posts. So your stories are getting lots and lots and lots of different exposure. Okay, so I just wanted to know, so did you know that Facebook business pages had stories? Let me know whether you knew that your business page actually had a story or not, because that's really important to know, that your business page that we use to gain our visibility across our Facebook accounts does have the capability of having its own standalone stories. And one of the really good things about that is that if your Instagram account is a business account, you can actually link your stories from your Instagram account to your Facebook account. And that's something that I do a lot. I actually do a lot of my stories starting on Instagram, and I can actually post them automatically across to my Facebook business page without having to go into my Facebook account and upload them again. I do, however, upload some stories directly to my Facebook business account if I want to make use of the swipe up feature, which is available inside your business page stories, even without 10,000 followers. So that's one of the key aspects that I use it for, which is really, really good. So what I want to just round up today really is to just give you an overview of what we've spoken about. So that stories themselves last for 15 seconds, and you can upload as many 15-second stories as you wish in any one 24-hour period. Now, these stories can be made up of photographs, text updates, polls, questions, and video. And you can also speak into your stories live. So you record it on the spot and then upload it. Instagram allows you to go live into your stories as well. And that's a really good way of reaching a much wider audience. So let me know in the comments below, are you using stories to gain more visibility? And if you are, which stories are you using? Are you an Instagram story kind of girl, or are you a Facebook stories kind of girl? Obviously, if you're a man and you're watching this, you can let me know if you're an Insta stories kind of guy or a Facebook stories kind of guy. But let me know whether you're using stories and whether you find them a little bit difficult to use and what those difficulties are, because I'd be really, I would really love to help you do that. Any other questions that you might have, don't forget to pop them in the comments below. And don't forget to follow my page or subscribe to my channel, depending on where you are watching this at the moment. Okay, so I hope that's given you a little introduction as to why you should be using Instagram and Facebook stories as part of your marketing strategy. And don't forget to jump into my Facebook and Instagram stories group over on Facebook. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.